The Champions of Undead mod adds the faction of Ordo Draconis. With the exception of Nagash, this is one of the largest modded factions I've ever seen and would have very likely made that top 10 list I made on Monday. Oh dear. Anyway, let's see what these guys are all about. They have a ridiculously large number of faction mechanics. First up, we have the Orders. These are the 3 orders of vampires you can make use of in the faction. Upon building up Nuln and its Bloodkeep library building, you'll be able to complete a quest battle and unlock the Orders screen. From here, you'll be able to spend blood kisses to awaken the 3 lines, and this does a large number of things for each of them. First of all, the effects that all orders gain. They unlock the ability to occupy bloodkeeps for the other 2 non-Draconis orders. You can then upgrade the tier to which those settlements can be upgraded, and all of them also unlock their own areas of the skill tree. With the exception of Draconis, the other 2 also give you quests to add their Grand Masters to join your faction upon achieving the final tier. After this, it's a little more individual to each order. For Profundum, it reduces your relations with the Vampire Coast, unlocks new fast travel points via the Abyssal Riptide similar to the Sea Lanes, unlocks the new recruitment and reduces the recruitment cost and increases the leadership of Profundum units, and unlocks the ability to recruit Depth Guard Lords. For Draconis, it reduces your relations with the Empire, Kislev and the Southern Realms, grants you extra rewards for defeating Witch Hunter armies, and unlocks recruitment buildings for high-tier Draconis units. And lastly, for Templarius, it reduces the relations you have with the followers of Nagash, allows you to convert enemy human lords when defeating them in battle or targeting them with hero actions, unlocks the recruitment of and reduces the recruitment cost and increases the leadership of Templarius units, and allows recruitment of Drakenhof Templar lords. Essentially, it's the Bloodlines mechanic from the Vampire counts, but with a new set of lines and much improved effects. In my opinion, I would max out one of your lines first to get to those endgame effects and ensure you can stack your armies with high power units. Next, we have the Witch Hunter Purges. Pretty much every action you take will increase the threat of the Witch Hunters. This is a bar at the top of the screen, and once it fills up, Witch Hunter armies will spawn nearby to all of your armies and settlements. This gives you a constant threat to everything in your faction, so keeps you on your toes and forces you to defend your lands near constantly. Something else you need to defend yourself from is paying too much for games, but it's pretty easy to avoid with instant gaming. Games are great and all, but they're getting to be a pretty expensive hobby. Monster Hunter Wilds just came out and is £60 on Steam. Well, if you instead take that £60 to instant gaming, you can get it for 30% off and have enough left over to buy a whole other game or 2. No matter if you're playing the latest releases, older classics, or even topping up on your subscriptions, they have you covered with the best prices you can find. However, I'd like to tell you a scary story. It was my girlfriend's birthday, and I wanted to get her an eShop gift card so she could get the Wallace and Gromit Power Wash DLC later this month. So I got an eShop gift card from Instant Gaming, but when we went to enter the code, it didn't work. Well, within 5 minutes of messaging support, we had a new key that did work, and she was able to enter it and buy her games in moments. I've always said their customer support is spot on, but it helps to actually have proof. So if you want cheap games that you can rely on, check out Instant Gaming at the link below. You'll save money on games and support the channel in the process. Everybody wins. One more thanks to Instant Gaming for supporting the channel, and now back to the video. Next up, we have the Hidden Libraries. Whilst this faction can technically colonize all settlements, the way they do it heavily encourages them to focus on select settlements known as the Bloodkeep Libraries. When capturing a settlement, they can choose between the 3 orders of vampires to occupy it, but Profundum and Templarius require their orders to be awakened to be available. You also need Dragon Scales to occupy and upgrade settlements. These are earned by defeating powerful armies in battle, such as faction leaders or powerful Witch Hunter armies. Within, they can build recruitment for standard undead units, as well as recruitment unique to each order. They also have landmarks to unlock powerful technologies, alongside quest battles and the ability to block colonization in the surrounding settlements, similar to the Bloodgrounds from the Beastmen. Each library also provides a quest battle with their guardian, and once completed, these provide you with legendary lords and heroes to join your faction. Most buildings require gold, but also precious metal. This is yet another resource that can be earned by raiding or raising settlements. I would say you are far better off on just focusing on Bloodkeep library settlements for a number of reasons. Dragon Scales and precious metals aren't the easiest resources to farm, so it's hard enough upgrading one settlement, let alone tens of them at once. All non-Bloodkeep settlements can also only build recruitment and defense buildings, so there's no real point since you get all of those in Bloodkeeps alongside their powerful landmarks. And lastly, there's enough going on in this campaign without adding copious amounts of settlement management into the mix. Next up, we have the Horde. The Grand Master of each order also have access to Horde Building. Similar to the Hidden Libraries, the main building requires Dragon Scales to be upgraded, and most other buildings require precious metal. Similar to the libraries, each lord can build to recruit the standard roster, as well as units specific to their order. These armies can also move around in a hidden encampment stance that allows them to replenish, be immune to attrition, recruit, and ambush enemy armies all at the same time. Once you've unlocked the Orders mechanic, every 5 turns a marker will appear on the map, and stepping on it will give you the option of battling now or later. If you choose to battle now, you'll gain a quest battle, which will provide you with a number of rewards and faction bonuses. If you instead choose to wait, they'll pop back up later for increased rewards. They're pretty much a selection of battles for extra rewards, so a nice bonus whenever you fancy it, but hardly anything too mechanically intensive. You can literally ignore them for no penalty, so it's really there as something extra to do if you want it, but not essential. We also have Martial Valour. This is a currency similar to Dread from the Beastmen. It's gathered through winning battles and can then be used on a large number of things. From the Martial Valour menu, it can be spent to upgrade your capacity for a number of your more powerful units, as well as increase your army capacity and character recruit rank. The Items tab instead has a number of powerful items for sale, but these only cost standard gold or dark magic as it's called in the faction. Martial Valour can also be used to upgrade your more powerful units, similar to the Warriors of Chaos. This also requires the units to be a high level of XP, so Lord and Hero skills are well worth picking up to get to these as fast as you can. The Acts of Renown are pretty much like the big names from the Ogre Kingdoms, simply complete the specified action to unlock the associated effects. You can have all of them at the same time and they're permanent once unlocked, so well worth collecting as soon as you can. Ordo Sanguinis Militae is very similar to the Paths to Glory from the Warriors of Chaos. Essentially, once your heroes reach a certain level, you can spend blood kisses to dedicate them to one of 3 options. Each option has their own battle stats and skill trees, but no matter what you choose, you're getting a seriously powerful upgrade to your heroes. And the last little non-mechanical parts about the faction, they have no access to Raise Dead, but let's be honest, you don't need it. And for Warlock Harken's army, he's immune to untainted attrition, gains Vanguard deployment for all Draconis units, and reduced recruitment duration for all Blood Dragon units. Now for a few closing thoughts and a mod review. This is another of the most complete feeling factions I've ever seen in a mod. Honestly, it doesn't feel like a DLC. Because there's no way a DLC faction would be this in-depth. Got him. In all seriousness, there is so much to do in this faction and almost all of it is great. The 3 orders give you a good reason to collect blood kisses and build up your settlements and armies using the different kinds of units to get the best buffs you can from all of your lords. The great libraries spread around the map give you a lot of reason to roam all over the place, alongside giving your campaign a lot of direction, similar to the Warriors of Chaos or even the Wood Elves. Unit upgrading is another thing from the Warriors of Chaos and something I think is always a good idea no matter who has it. It is far more satisfying to upgrade this unit from basic troop to endgame destroyer of worlds, rather than just dismissing my skeleton to recruit a graveguard. Now, notice how I said almost all of it? Honestly, the one part I don't love is the witch hunters, and it is a very minor complaint. It happens very often and they really slow down the flow of the campaign since you have to drop what you're doing to defend your armies and settlements. They're normally not all that hard to beat, but still it is a little bit annoying. That said, it's a pretty handy tool for farming Martial Valour, so it's not all bad. Other than that, I'm really pleased with what I've played so far, and I'm extremely glad there's another great undead faction to play with. If CA won't do it, it's up to you mod makers. But what do you think of the mod? Let me know in the comments below, as well as any other mods you'd like me to take a look at. Like, subscribe, and if you want more mod videos, then check out this one all about the Darklands Orcs.